and welcome to Conquer Crochet. My name is Karen Stangroom, and in this video we're going to look at 16 mindful one row repeated pattern crochet stitches to help you on your crochet journey. Each of these stitches has its own full-length video. I'm just going to give you a little intro so you can see them. Up in the top right hand corner you will see a link to the playlist for all of these videos, and also at the top of each of the stitches there will be a card going to just that video to help you. So the first stitch we're going to look at is the silk stitch. This is a gorgeous, obviously a one row repeated pattern, and being a one row repeat means it has the same design on each side of the fabric. It's a nice subtle texture to this stitch, really beautiful, a nice one to do especially if you are a beginner. So next up is the thicket stitch. Again, a lovely gorgeous textured stitch. Looks like it should be a yarn eater, but actually it's not too bad, so a nice one there if you're wanting to not use up too much yarn. Not so great if you're stash busting, but really beautiful stitch. The third one on our list is the sprig stitch. This is a beautiful stitch. I really like the way the stitches work, and is a great one for scarves. The tip scale stitch is probably one of my favourite one row repeated patterns. It's a gorgeous stitch, looks beautiful in the variegated yarn like it is here, but equally beautiful in a single colour. Really nice, thick, dense fabric produced with this. Is a little bit more of a yarn eater than some of the others. So the sedge stitch is a really simple one that uses groups of clusters, and the clusters are made up of double crochets, half trebles and trebles in UK terms, or single crochet, double crochet and half double crochets in US terms. Really pretty little stitch, this one. So next up we have the wattle stitch. This stitch gives you a lovely simple texture to the fabric, which is really nice and soft. So nice to have next to your skin if you wanted to use this for clothing or for a scarf. Very pretty stitch. And again, another mindful one row repeated pattern. So the Paris stitch is another really pretty stitch for your mindful crochet. There's a slight ridge to the fabric, which gives it an interesting texture, but it also has quite a nice drape to the fabric. So if you're wanting to use this one for clothing, as again scarves, that kind of thing, it's really pretty and has that gorgeous little drape to it. The crunch stitch is a really simple pattern using slip stitches and half trebles in UK or half doubles in US. This is a great stitch for baby blankets. It's quite a tight stitch, meaning there's less holes for little fingers to get caught in. It's just a really pretty, beautifully textured fabric that's created. So this is the mesh stitch, another really super easy one row repeated pattern. Another great one for baby blankets due to the lack of holes between the stitches. It's a combination of double crochets and chains as UK terms. In US terms that would be single crochets and chains. It's a really beautiful, pretty little stitch. This is another one of my favourite stitches. This is the moss stitch, sometimes known as the linen stitch. Again, being a one row repeat, same on the front as it is on the back. It is a combination of doubles and chains, again very much like the mesh stitch you just saw in the previous stitch. Really simple, nice one to do if you really want to lose yourself. Tiny Arches stitch is another gorgeous pattern. Wouldn't use this one for a baby blanket due to the holes. At the end of this video I show you how to complete that top row so you have a nice smooth top row, and don't forget to do that so it matches the bottom, and you get these beautiful little bumps up the side, which means you don't have to put a border on it. This is a fantastic, super quick to work up, one row repeated pattern. Very, very mindful. It's just a combination of trebles 2 together and chaining 2. I have changed colour on every row. It does mean that because you're changing each row you will have lots of yarn ends to sew in. You could change every 2 rows if you wanted to carry the yarn up the side, or you could do it in a single colour as I've done here. But I don't think it really pops quite as much as doing it in the different colours for the different rows. The spider stitch, so called because it looks like you've got lots of little legs coming out from the stitch. It's a one row repeated pattern, meaning it's the same on the front as it is on the back, and it's a really lovely stitch. There's a little tricky area where you're working into a one chain space, and if you get that right you get this lovely line going down your work, and it just looks really beautiful. Quite a dense fabric, there's not too many holes in there, so if you're wanting to do it for a baby blanket that would be a really good one to choose, and just a really lovely stitch to work up. The pistachio stitch is another really gorgeous one row repeat. You get this lovely texture to the fabric. It really has some depth to it and makes it feel so nice and squishy. It is still quite flexible, so you can use it for jumpers and scarves and things. It's actually the lemon peel stitch but made in 2 colours, so you get that houndstooth effect. Traditionally made in black and white or in a beige and brown, but I decided to go with a green and a pink. It just feels a little bit more girly to me. One row repeated pattern, so it's the same on the front as it is on the back. Just a really lovely, simple, easy, mindful stitch. Or the staggered half double if you're in the US. Really lovely simple stitch. It's a one row repeated pattern, meaning it's the same on the front as it is on the reverse. It's quite a nice dense stitch, not too many holes. You can see my hand through a little bit, but it really is quite a nice thick warming stitch to use, and as the name suggests, it uses half trebles. So I really hope you've enjoyed this compilation of 16 mindful one row repeat crochet stitches. Some really beautiful stitches in there, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. The idea was to make it a bit easier for you to see the stitches so that you could decide which one you would like to make next without having to sort of go into each video individually to see what it looks like. I'd love to know which, if any, of the stitches you're going to try and what you're going to make with them, so please let me know in the comments below what you're planning to do with these stitches. Don't forget you can click on the card links, and also in the description below will be a link to each of the videos and also the entire playlist for you. There are right and left-handed versions of all of these videos, so make sure you go to the correct playlist. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time you like if you find the channel's not for you. I do crochet stitch tutorials or videos like this one every Friday, so keep an eye out for those. I'll pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I shall see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!